David Gordon Green may have just said a little too much about Halloween Ends. Let's get into it.
Well, sometimes that is better.
Hey everybody, what's up? KillJoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today we're talking a little bit about Halloween Ends, specifically something that David Gordon Green recently said about the film and outlining his major influences for it. Now before we get into all of this, if you guys can like this video and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that. In an interview with Empire Magazine, director David Gordon Green recently outlined some of his major influences for his last installment in the Halloween franchise. He listed the three films My Bodyguard, Butcher, Baker, Nightmare Maker, which is the coolest title to any horror movie ever, and also Christine, which we talked about earlier this year. Now, I'm not really going to outline how Christine could influence this movie because, I mean, we have talked about that in countless videos at this point. You can check out one of those up here, by the way. But specifically talking about these other two films David Gordon Green mentioned, it all kind of works into this one big crazy theory I have about the film now. The film My Bodyguard from 1980 is described as such. Clifford Peach, played by Chris Makepeace, is a sensitive, well-to-do teen who becomes the target of bully Melvin Moody, played by Matt Dillon, after he starts attending a new school. Tired of being picked on, Clifford recruits brooding tough kid Ricky Linderman, Adam Baldwin, to be his bodyguard. While this initially works and Clifford and Linderman form an unlikely friendship, soon circumstances strain their bond. As Clifford is forced to confront Moody again, Linderman has to deal with his own troubled past. Now this one's kind of weirder to connect to Halloween Ends. I think at face value you could say, oh, maybe Corey's getting picked on at school or something like that. But that may or may not work, because apparently Corey Cunningham, this is just a rumor, is going to be dating Allison Nelson in this new film. Allison was in high school the last time we saw her, and 4 years later, she's probably not going to be in high school. Now, that is just a rumor, and it may not even be true. I know people have even seen the film at this point. Please no spoilers in the comments. Not all of us have seen it. Now, the theories get really wild when we start talking about Butcher, Baker, Nightmare Maker, which was re-released as Night Warning. Can we take a pause for like a fat second? That is an awful retitle. If I'm walking into Blockbuster and I see Butcher, Baker, Nightmare Maker, you know I'm taking that shit off the shelves and taking it home with me. If I saw a movie called Night Warning, I have no interest. But you're telling me there's a butcher, a baker, and a nightmare maker all in the same film? I'm fucking in, baby. Here's my money. Getting off of my soapbox with that for a moment, talking about the plot of this film, it focuses on a teenager who is raised by his neurotic aunt and finds himself at the center of a murder investigation after his aunt stabs a man to death in their house. The boy's sexually repressed aunt secretly harbors incestuous feelings for him, gross, while a detective investigating the crime irrationally believes the murder to be a result of a homosexual love triangle. Yeah, so once again, holy shit, this movie sounds fucking crazy. I can't believe I've never seen this movie. Like, it sounds fucking insane. I'm in. I guess it's on Shudder too. I'm watching this as soon as possible. But this is one of those movies where you have like an older character basically doing all of this crazy shit to another younger character who is powerless, and this character has to try to find a way like to wiggle out of it. We've seen a bunch of movies that are essentially like this, but it boils down to Cheryl fucks with Billy and ruins his life. So how can we apply that to Halloween Ends? Well, Corey is going to be a younger, more powerless character. We actually see a shot of him in the trailer. Like I said, he's played by a younger actor, so I would assume he would be taking the Billy position in this new film. Now, I know a lot of us are drawing to conclusions here and thinking to themselves, oh, well, maybe it's Michael Myers that's gonna fuck up Corey Cunningham's life here. But that's not exactly Michael's goal. Now, even though Michael Myers, yes, is the main antagonist, I don't think he'll be playing the Cheryl role in this film. I think that's where Dr. Mathis comes in. This motherfucker is going to be fucking with Corey Cunningham, maybe even blaming him for some of the murders that happen on this new Halloween night. If you remember from the plot description, Corey is apparently a babysitter, and then the kids that he's babysitting get killed somehow. Now, this is a bit of a far cry, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, but my kind of guess as to what happens in this plot is that we have Corey Cunningham. He's this just nice kid. He's gonna babysit for Dr. Mathis and watch his kids, and then by the time Dr. Mathis gets home on Halloween night, both of his kids are fucking dead. What Dr. Mathis doesn't know, though, is that Michael Myers actually showed up at his house and killed his kids. This is nothing new for Michael, especially not from the David Gordon Green films, where in both films we've gotten so far, he has killed a child or multiple children on screen. So I think instead of the townsfolk of Haddonfield screaming, "Evil dies tonight!" we're gonna have Dr. Mathis leading this crazy crowd of people around the town saying, "Oh my god, find Corey, that fuck." Now that would be cool and all, but it doesn't really explain some of the shots in the trailer, where we very clearly see someone dressed up as Michael Myers who isn't Michael, because you can see all of the fingers on his one hand. To explain that though, I think that there's more to this chance meeting between Michael and Corey. I don't think it was chance at all, in fact. Oh. Wouldn't it be kind of cool if early on in the film we see Corey Cunningham finding Michael's mask somehow? Maybe he's kind of obsessed with the killings. Maybe that's why he's going after Allison Nelson, like I said earlier. Why that's so important is because we've really only seen Michael go after people when they have his mask. I mean, think about the podcasters from Halloween 2018. He didn't have to kill them. They were not in his way at all. That kind of goes against the rules established in Halloween Kills with Michael, where he was kind of just trying to go home. He was just killing people that were in his way. He goes after those podcasters in Halloween 2018 because he knows they have his mask. It's the same thing in Halloween Kills when you have Judy Greer's Karen holding up the mask in front of him and he goes after her and doesn't finish off Allison, who's just sitting there with a broken leg. Like, of course he would just kill her first. He wouldn't care about Karen, but Michael cares about that fucking mask. So I think what the case could be here is that Corey finds the mask early on in the film. If that's at the old Myers house in the middle of the woods, the sewers, fingers crossed. He kind of wears it as his Halloween costume and all that. He kind of like throws it on maybe a little bit and people are like, what the fuck, dude? You're like dressed up as the killer that killed a shit ton of people here like 4 years ago. What the fuck, Corey? He's at the Mathis residence babysitting for the night when Michael Myers shows up without a mask on. Maybe he kills the kids and continues to go after Corey trying to get his mask back. So let me ask you this. If you're scared shitless, you have Michael Myers coming after you no matter what, you don't really even know why. I mean, maybe he just doesn't put 2 and 2 together that he stole his fucking mask. Where are you gonna go? To the Strode residence, of course. This will bring Laurie Strode and Michael Myers together to have their final fight, which has been teased a lot in the marketing, and I feel like that kind of works really well with this story overall. Because it's already been established in this new timeline that Michael Myers is not going after Laurie Strode. So if you were to have a movie where nothing was explained as to how these two came together and were fighting again, that would kind of suck. So all of this running around with the Corey Cunningham character might seem a little tedious to you, but it's so necessary to keep everything in the continuity consistent. Now, I know a lot of us are yearning for a more simplistic version of like whatever the ending of this timeline is going to be. I'm personally hoping for a movie that doesn't focus so much on a higher kill count, but much more higher quality in the kills themselves. So show us Michael walking around the town and stalking, hiding around bushes and shit. I think that could be kind of cool. But do I want the overall plotline of Halloween Ends to just feel like the same thing as the original? No, honestly, I feel like that would just suck at this point. Whenever I talk about how Halloween Ends should be closer to the original, I'm talking specifically about the way that movie scares you by having Michael Myers be kind of built up throughout the first half of the movie to only be revealed essentially like towards the third act to start killing people and to start being real vicious. Have the first half of the film essentially be exposition with our characters learning about where they are 4 years later or introducing new characters like Dr. Mathis and Corey Cunningham, but then to have the second act kicked off by Michael Myers looking for his fucking mask, pissed off, walking into the Mathis residence, killing his kids, and going after Corey Cunningham would set off the second half of this film to be something really explosive, fun, and super different for the franchise. But all the while you're getting that exposition, in the background, Michael will be lurking throughout some of those shots. It could be a nice way to tease and like set him up again, like the comeback for Michael as well. That could be kind of cool. I really hope that's the way that this movie is set up, and the plotline is something weird, different, something we've never really even tasted before in this franchise. I would be all about that, but what do you guys think about this crazy theory? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this brand new theory video talking all about Halloween Ends. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content in the future. You can become a channel member today by clicking that join button on my page or support me on Patreon too. The link for that's in my little about section. Thank you guys for watching again, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.